Calling all left coast lights. Calling all left coast lights. Please take your seats. Please put your circuits away. So before we get started, everybody, before we start streaming, we're going to do a quick little announcement. So if you're interested, we have a little sign-up sheet over here on the table, on the coffee table over here for Left Coast Lights. I'll give you a little introduction for those of you who are not aware. Left Coast Lights is a digital home for the Bay Area's electronic music and visualist community. Seasoned artists or electronic couriers, all are welcome. Share your art, talk shop, organize events, learn about shows, trade links, ask questions, and hang out. Left Coast Lights is hosted on Slack, a free messaging platform available via the web or dedicated mobile apps. Add your email address and we'll send you an invite shortly. So if anyone here is not signed up on Left Coast Lights and you want to join, please do. We've got a sign-up sheet with a couple pens over there, and we'll add you after tonight. It's a really fun thing, guys. I'm on there. You can say hello to me there, too. Ready, Rich? Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Piqued, an electronic music meetup for musicians and enthusiasts. Tonight, we feature two artists. We've got Will Pragnell and J.Lee tonight. Each will do a set 15 to 20 minutes long of their choice, and then after that, we will have a Q&A session with them and open up questions to the audience. So without further ado, please welcome J.Lee. J.Lee, everyone. Jay, come on over here. Have a seat. Once he's turning it up.
Check in a sec. All right, good.
There we are. Jay, thank you very much for coming out tonight and playing this set.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah.
My pleasure.
So, tell us run through a little bit about your set. Tell us about how you prepared for tonight.
Well, I've been doing a lot of modular sets, and it gets, I can be clever, but I thought I'd try to do something which I think I'm going to start doing regularly, which is to create a song. And each time that I do a set, it's going to be like a new song with lyrics, because I think that kind of gives a nice platform to be able to have a little poetic element in it. And also gives the, sort of extended krautrock kind of, room for experimentation, and then also room for like a nice melodic kind of passage or sequence. And, so I guess the sort of right-left brain divide, trying to cross that a little bit with the more experimental, and then with the a little more solidified melodic sense.
And tell us a little bit about the lyrics you prepared tonight and how you used that and sampled your voice into the modules.
The lyrics were about the sort of immediacy of life and how things are very accelerated nowadays. I think I was late for work and I was riding my bicycle, so that was, trying to get there on time and not kill myself was kind of the inspiration behind where the lyrics initially came from. But they kind of have to follow a sort of an alliteration or a phrasing. So, that was the initial kind of idea, and then I had to kind of do the nuts and bolts to make the words fit into the phrase. So it kind of takes a little bit of a step beyond the initial inspiration to make it work. And then I'm using just a microphone into the DLD, the dual looping delay. For background vocals, it's kind of nice. It's a tap delay, so you can sync it up to your sequence. Right now it goes through twice, so it'll do two sequences, so I can actually have two separate. I can do something different the first pass and then something different the second pass, and give the illusion that it's not a robotic machine, that it's got more kind of soul or life to it. So arrangement-wise, anyways. And I was just singing straight into it. Also, the phonogene was on, and I just said the word now. And then I went back and with the sequencer, tuned it up. So it's now, and it was kind of basically going up with the bass line. So it was sounding a little distorted. I thought, not you guys' setup, but my setup there's a very crusty kind of sounding thing. So I could probably go back to the drawing board on that. But
I think we all appreciated it.
Thanks.
Yeah. It was a fantastic set. I really enjoyed it. There was a lot of great stuff you went in through. I was really impressed with how you used a nice variety of Pittsburgh modular in your set. That was really neat.
Yeah, Pittsburgh has got this sort of one function per module stuff, and it's just how I built my setup before all the sort of more blingy, multifunctional stuff entered my life. So, and I still use that stuff on every patches, the sort of the basic fundamentals of synthesis that at least according to my usage of what that means. So it's good to have a sort of things that you can, even Pittsburgh stuff, which is pretty simple, essentially there's always new ways of getting new sounds out of it.
Is that part of maybe that goes into maybe your philosophy of how you approach modular music?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, the idea for me is I'm kind of into the whole 70s kind of electronic music thing. I've never really was into electronic music. I'm a songwriter and a guitar player. So I was always writing songs. But I always thought the guys who were doing like Bukla and stuff back in the 70s, when I listened to one of those records, I'm like, it's really interesting and it's really clever, but there's not really anything catchy going on here. But I do appreciate the aesthetics behind it. So my kind of MO is to kind of fuse those kind of experimental elements and trying to get something more that you can leave humming in your head, something a little more catchy for my songwriting kind of a take on music. So this is like a band kind of, where no one talks back to me kind of thing. So
I would say you are talking back to yourself.
Yeah, constantly arguing with myself. It's good to take a step outside and maybe have a puff or something and think about what you're trying to do and then come back and be like, oh, now it's making complete sense. So that happens quite a bit in the process.
They came through very well.
Thanks.
At this moment, I'd like to open questions up to the audience. Does anyone have any questions for J.Lee about his set tonight?
Hello. Hey. Great set. I think you totally nailed that whole the krautrock thing that you're going for. It sounded really good.
Cool.
Were there any special considerations, when kind of processing your voice and things like that, like filtering it, making sure it kind of meshed well? And then, since you're also a guitar player, would you consider kind of meshing that into the mix as well, your guitar, and processing that with other modules and things?
If I had more time, then I would have processed the vocals a little bit more, cleverly maybe. But as it was, the microphone, I just put it through a filter and a VCA, and then the clock that was coming off the delay. So I could keep it open pretty seriously, or I could kind of have it kind of do a little bit of a kind of a triangle shape, in and out kind of thing to kind of add some punctuation. But guitar-wise, yeah, it's quite fun. I have a guitar with I tune it all up to the same note, and then I can kind of tune the synth up to that, and then put down and the delay looper, add that into the mix, and that's always fun. I really like bass actually through the modular. It's always nice to add the sort of real bass with the synth bass. So I do pop that out every once in a while when I'm down in my studio or at my apartment. Yeah.
Something about the bass that I had noticed a little later on in the set. It wasn't entirely going on, but it would come in certain sections, and that seemed very planned. And what were you using for your bass?
There was a more staccato kind of thing. Watch out for that guy. And then, so you wouldn't hear it because it would be going with the pulse, but then I would open up that envelope and then it would just kind of be saturating. So, and then it was the telharmonic, so I can kind of detune it slightly, within reason. So it'll give a little bit more, of a percussive kind of a tone to it.
It definitely did. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Do we have any more other questions from the audience tonight? Right. Now, Jay, you were telling me earlier you have a band also, the Rabbles, is it?
Yeah. Yeah.
You're playing pretty soon with that, right?
We are. We're playing a week from Sunday, the 27th, at the Makeout Room. And what I do on the synth, I actually write a lot of stuff on the synth, or I try to anyways, and then I'll transpose it onto my bandmates. And it won't ever, it'll have this sort of initial spark of what the patch was, but the band will take it and do whatever they will with it. And so that's been pretty interesting and a nice way to write songs, because it's kind of getting off the neck that I've been around a million times. And you come up with some kind of harmonic combinations that you wouldn't do on the guitar, and then you just transpose it. And so, yeah, it's kind of like the live version of the modular. And, we do kind of a psychedelic rock kind of thing. We don't jam for 15, 20 minutes at a time or anything like this. But our tunes are much more compact, about, between 3 and 5 minutes. But we try and cram a bunch of little fireworks into the arrangements of the songs.
Very cool.
Yeah.
And Jay, where can everybody find more about you and your music?
I'm on Instagram at Captain J Rab, and I am also. We have our website, therabbles.com, which is kind of in. It's going to be phasing into something new pretty soon, but it's just there's a bunch of free music up there. There's a SoundCloud kind of embedded stuff on there, and that's what my rock band is up to. I don't have too much stuff on from the synth besides Instagram, little 1-minute video clips where I'll be at my studio racking my brains, and this is what I came up with tonight, and it's kind of like a little bit of a documentary style, just keep tabs on what I'm up to for myself, really. But
Sure,
hopefully
that's a great way to document, and also kind of also throw some ideas out there of what you're doing on the synth, see what people respond to, and then bring that back into the studio to your band.
That, and also the synth community in the city and beyond is very supportive and not a huge ego thing like the sort of rock thing.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, no? It's kind of like there's no real rock stars in modular synth. I mean, there's some excellent, amazing, accomplished, phenomenal musicians, but it's not like an ego thing, really. The ego thing is kind of taken out of it.
You're absolutely right about that, and that's one of the, I think, the most wonderful things that all of us have really appreciated about the electronic music scene is that it's 100% welcoming. No one's out there to really, be boasting about themselves over anyone else. It's everyone's there to contribute and enjoy at the same time.
Yeah, and it's just kind of democratic and very, just chivalrous amongst the players. So I like that about it. It's pretty refreshing. In fact, there's a lot of curiosity and interest in modular and in synthesis these days. There seems to be like lots of cool little gigs popping up. It's hard to book a band, actually, and it's like almost like doing some kind of a military campaign where you have to book and you have to like practice and you have to get everybody there at the right time and everyone's got to line up, and it's almost got to be like this harmonic alignment of the stars needs to happen for a band to to do a gig, as opposed to modular where I can just throw the stuff in the back of the car and zip on over to here or to whatever ATA or Robot Speak or.
Absolutely, yeah. Playing a solo show, doing electronic music is much more relaxing than trying to organize a group.
Yeah. I was doing this thing called synesthesia for a while. I would take 3 synthesists and 3 filmmakers, and we did it at ATA and Amnesia down on the Mission. And we would do 15, 20-minute sets, and then we'd rotate, we'd crossfade, we wouldn't stop. So like I'd be crossfading out, and then the next person would be crossfading in. And also the film and video people would be doing the same thing. So it was, it ended up being like a lot of synchronicity happening with the music and with the visuals. And we would do that twice through over the course of the night, take a break in the middle. So I might set that up again. It seemed like it brought a lot of the best qualities out of people. And it's a lot of people doing this stuff in their bedroom or whatever, and I like to be able to have the opportunity to give people a chance to get out of their bedroom and put it through a big system with some people, kind of like what you guys are doing here. So
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. And there's always the place for busking, which is similar to what you were explaining, but it's always wonderful to have a room with people who are enthusiastic, who want to hear everything there is about electronic music.
yeah. And that, the great thing about like a synth meet is the nerding out that happens in between the sets. People are just so excited about talking about like these circuits and what they're doing with them and what's so great about this. And I have that one too. It's really fun, And what do you do? Like I do this thing with it, and it's just. My girlfriend just shakes her head. She's like, oh, God, these people.
Yeah, you're absolutely right, because we were a couple of my friends. I think we're probably exchanging modules before the show even started today.
Oh yeah, nice.
Oh yeah, totally. Well, Jay, thank you very much for your set tonight. I really appreciate it for you coming out and for you reaching out to me just last month.
Yeah.
And we were able to schedule in just kind of last minute. and it really worked out. So thanks again for coming out. Everybody, please give a big round of applause for J.Lee.
Thank you.
We're going to take a